is to have this Singaporean first policy. Singaporean workers are suffering. They are under tremendous financial pressure from this government policy of importing cheap foreign labor. That has kept pressure on wages, and that can be quickly remedied, and it must be done right away. It really has been a misallocation, misprioritization on the PAP's part all through these years to get this kind of an economic result that we've seen. And we've talked about income inequality, Singaporeans not being able to find jobs and having to rely now on the elderly, and so on and so forth. Right? And it is just this reallocation of these funds, getting your priority right. And that priority is that the people come first. If we get that formula right, everything falls into place. It's hard to make the argument that it's that somehow government has been in a deficit, right? It is collecting less than it is spending. Correct? We have a situation whereby we have hundreds of billions of dollars stashed in the GIC and Temasek Holdings, which we have absolutely no idea how it's being spent and used, right? What we have begun to say in this budget is, look, let's just have some sanity to the system, right? And not have people homeless on one point. And then we have these hundreds of billions of dollars in our reserves that we have no control over. We're trying to establish some parity, some balance here. Let us have first some transparency. Tell us. We want the government to tell us how much exactly we have in our GIC, in our Temasek Holdings, how it's being used. Make that clear, make that open and accountable to the public, and then we'll talk about these things. Yeah? I think that's a fair proposal. Okay? So it's that kind of situation that we want from the government as well. Open your books, money is ours, we have control over it, we want to have control over it, we certainly want the government to be accountable. The question that, if I may, needs to be asked, we want to attract investments, yes. The question is, what kind of investments are we attracting? If we are going to attract kind of investments where we keep having to service these multinationals and our GLCs with more and cheaper labor, it's a race down to the bottom. The kinds of investments we need to be attracting are those that will create talent, that are innovative. In the economic management of this country, there are huge political gains that the PAP plays, right? And it's not always in the interest of sound economic fundamental. Take, for example, just what Ravi has just said. There is a move, and we've seen it through the years, to make sure that these small one-man firms begin to get squeezed so they get into these big firms. And it's much easier to control these big firms. So there is a political maneuvering in that area too. And look at the GLCs, right? It's been shown over and over. People are saying that those are conglomerates. Some of them are white elephants. They're not doing anything, but the government needs to control it because the government knows that if it loses that economic control over the people, it loses the political control as well. This is something that we try to address also in this budget. The fundamental difference between what we're proposing, and that's minimum wage, versus workfare, is not so much an economic argument. It is more a political, right? Now, minimum wage would be legislated, and once legislated, all companies, all agencies, government and private, would have to abide by that legislation. Right? It will take the political control of the government away from this whole process, right? Unless we return back to Parliament to either want to repeal the policy or not. Workfare continues to enslave the people in the sense that if you want to qualify for it, you make an application, right? And you apply for it. The authorities then would have a chance to approve it or reject it. This is where that politics comes in. Right? The government wants to continue to be this dispenser of, all these kinds of assistance, if you will, where it should be a right instead.